Week I got off the interstate at Lafayette, Indiana, and stopped the bus there by the Wabash River in a little park. And John Carter and I walked down to the water, wet a hook a while. A fellow about my age came down after a few minutes and said, "You know, you look a lot like Johnny Cash." And I said, "Well, that's what a lot of people tell me." He said, "The fish biting?" I said, "Not yet." And he said, "What do you use?" And I said, "Worms." He said, "Well, if you use a minnow, fish on the bottom, you might catch one of them old flathead catfish." So he loaned me a minnow, and I didn't catch no flathead catfish. But I got to talking to old Gene Ford, that was his name. And then he got to telling me his story, and about halfway through his story, he said, "You are Johnny Cash." And I said, "Well, I'll have to admit it." So then he told me about his wife, how she kept telling him she was going, and she finally went and took her little boy and girl with her. And he'd been out to California all these many months trying to win her back. He said he'd been fighting a losing battle, and he finally gave up a week ago and came back to Lafayette, Indiana. And he's spending his days and half his nights fishing on the Wabash River. And like me, he hadn't been catching any flathead catfish, but in the process of doing all that fishing and thinking, old Gene said he just about had his mind together. And he said, if it wasn't for the Wabash River, I'd be going out of my mind. And I said, "Gene, that's a good song title." Fish ain't biting, I don't really care. I'm in no hurry, like that Wabash River there. Lord, she left me, and I'd have no home nowhere if it wasn't for the Wabash River. If it wasn't for the Wabash River, and this willow tree and my pole and my line, Lord, I'd be going crazy as an Indiana cyclone, drowning memories of her and crying, crying, crying. If it wasn't for the Wabash River, I'd be going out of my mind. It's so peaceful sitting here beneath my tree. Lord, I love her, but I know she don't love me. Life ain't worth it, just as far as I can see. If it wasn't for the Wabash River, if it wasn't for the Wabash River, and this willow tree and my pole and my line, Lord, I'd be going crazy as an Indiana cyclone, drowning memories of her and crying, crying, crying. If it wasn't for the Wabash River, I'd be going out of my mind.